everyone, Dawn here from Enzo's. Okay, I have my girlfriend Dakota and Jagger here, and my buddy Gabriel. I hate saying his name because I think he'll jump off place, but he's going to do pretty good. So what we're going to do here is a little bit of social distancing right here. So I have my dogs, and I'm going to do some of what we do typically at our go home. I'm going to preempt you guys so you know what you're going to expect at the go home. That way we can shorten up and we'll just go straight to your questions, right? So not to be forgotten, Tom, can you go ahead and show Mr. Edgar who's just sitting over here? Perfect. Okay, let's get right into it. Tom is my cameraman. Everybody, say hi to Tom. So I want to start with, you guys had your homework packet to go over. This is what, when you come to the go home, if you have any questions, if you could email me them ahead of time so I could go over them with you if there's anything, and then I'll go over them again if you have questions still, I will go over at your go home. But basically the front page is your page of commands that we have and what they mean. So all these dogs are in at least the 12 or 14-day program, and all of them are e-collar conditioned dogs. So I'm going to go over the whole thing of what you can expect when you come home. Okay, so that's number one. The next section is a section on my 11 kind of rules. I narrowed it down to 11 of how to when you go home, how to get things better. And I actually have a YouTube video on that too, so go ahead and check that out. Ways dogs communicate. And the way that I'm going to talk about the most for you to understand is communicating through touch. So a lot of these dogs had to touch you in order to communicate. Now I want it to be really good on when you use your touch, okay? And then the fourth handout here is on ways to shape and modify behaviors. For the most part, we're modifying some of these guys' behaviors that were a little bit naughty. Gabe here, he's a German Shepherd, you guys, so he uses his mouth a lot, right? Very common for herding dogs. So teaching him when to and when not to use his mouth. He would grab, if you touched his feet, if you're using his mouth, we don't want to use that, do that anymore. Oh my goodness, why are you looking in your pocket? So the rest of these guys really weren't mouthy dogs. So, but we definitely want to look at that. So first thing you're going to do is the prong, okay? So we have, all these dogs have, were conditioned first for the first 3 days. We worked on them, typically it's the first 3 days, on what pressure on a leash means. Oh, you know what, I should have grabbed the leash, so I'm going to snag. So, nope. Stay in place. Good. So, leash pressure. There's two ways that you can create pressure on a leash that's appropriate, that we have talked to and taught the dogs. Gave no place. So one is directional pressure. You want your dog to come in a direction. Come, sit, down. So straight up pressure off a leash is sit. When the leash falls to the ground, it means down. If I use just constant pressure, it means do something. When I take the pressure off, then that means good job, you did what I asked you to do. So when we're working you, when you come in for your go home, and when we work you on the leash, you really have to get used to that. The other thing you can't do when you have a leash in your hand is you can't do this, right? We're no longer doing that with our leash. None of these dogs are going anywhere because they're gonna follow you. So pressure on means do something, pressure off means good job, you did it. Second way that you're going to use your leash is as a corrective tool, right? It's a no. So the leash is on the dog. It's just, if you have a loose leash, they do something, maybe they lunge at the end of the line or bark at something. It's just a quick no, just no. And the idea is just to snap their brain quickly out of it. So for the most part, it goes just like with any kind of touch, right? If he were to get off there right now, I'm going to say no, place. Okay, so it's just a quick little no, place. So it's two different things, right? It's no, and then you repeat the command if they don't automatically go back. Jagger does a good job on his e-collar. A double tap means for him, he'll go back to a command. Nope. Good. So it's like we're having a lesson here with the dogs. Okay, so that's the 2 ways you're gonna communicate using the leash. Again, when you have your go home, we will go over it, but I want you to preempt you to understand this. Okay, so here's the prongs that we use. We only use this brand, this Hermspringer brand. They're made a lot nicer. So when you get here, you'll see they're made off a mold versus they're not cut. A lot of the ones that you see in stores are rough at the edges because they are cut and they can splinter. I don't like those. I don't like the quality. We get these from our distributor who gets them out of the Hermspringer factory, which I believe is still in Germany. So, and thank goodness we have a big boxes of these, so we don't have to order them right now. So there are 2 rings on here. This one is just small. It's called a dead ring, okay? It doesn't move. It just holds the 2 together. The one that spins, right, this one, it kind of spins around, you'll see it. That's the one you're going to want to hook your leash to, because see how it can spin around? That's how you know the difference, where if you put it on the other one, it will not, well, it does spin, but see how it spins up? Can you see that? It spins the collar up, which you don't want that. So making sure we have fit these properly to your dogs. So making sure that you hook it to the right one. The other thing is when you put it on your dog, it's the top one. So you're gonna hook it to it's gonna go closest to their ears. He's kind of in between sizes. This is a little bit big for him, but he's actually probably lost a little bit of weight while he's been here too. Good boy, all the running he's been doing. So making sure that goes first and then the e-collar goes behind it. When you put it together or take it apart, any of these come apart and then put it back together. Kind of like a little Jenga puzzle, right? You kind of have to squish it. It's like the kids have to do it. I will show you this at the go home, how to do it, but it becomes really quite second nature. And all these dogs, most of the dogs we have, we do use the small Hermspringer. You don't need the big ones, even if your dog is big, because once your dog understands the pressure, then they understand the pressure. It's not about being forceful with your dog. And the reason that we like these is because they squeeze evenly around the neck versus a flat collar will just hit him at one point. And all 3 of these dogs love to pull. They love to be out front. They love to be doing that. So I just am using the pressure to teach them to stay with me and to understand what leash pressure is, right? Most of these dogs very quickly will be just fully e-collared. So then we're going to go right into the e-collar and how it works. So here's the boxes that we use. We use the Easy 900 e-collar technology box. Tom's gonna come a little closer so he can see. Good. They're all the same that we use. Jagger here, yours is a little bit different for Jagger because you have a 902, so you have both dogs are on one controller. So I don't know if Jagger's the red or not, but you'll use these each equally as Dylan will be one and Jagger will be the other. But the other dogs, they're all going to be just a single dog unit. So in here, you have plugins for both units. You have your manual, your Easy Educator Quick Start Guide manual. But really, if you have any questions that I can't answer, Jagger, no, place. If you have any questions that I can't answer, or you can't get a hold of me, just go to YouTube. There's so many videos out on YouTube. I have some, other people have some. And just Google YouTube the Easy 900 and all your questions will be on there very easily. So this is just a quick tutorial. I should do a full one of these now that I'm thinking about it. Make sure you send in your warranty card. It's 2-year warranty. Great company, they replace pretty much anything, but it is a 2-year warranty, so which is very generous. So here's the unit itself. Jagger, you already know this. Turning it on and turning it off. Oh no, we'll start with, so I always start with this, how to charge it. So back here, there's a little charging port, so charging there. Make sure when you take it off the charger that you close this. These are waterproof and submergible. My dogs go in the water all the time with them, but you definitely want to make sure that that's closed in there. And then to charge this unit, same thing in the back here. This is waterproof too. I don't know why you would ever put this in the water though. but I have dropped it in dog bowls before, so it does really well. So turning the unit on, this is the collar unit, turning it on, there's a little red eye right here, and it's just a little dot, literally, and then there's a red eye on the back of your, Dakota, on the back of your handheld unit. They're magnetized, so you're just gonna run it over it, and it will turn it on. You'll know it's on and fully charged when it blinks green. Hope you guys can see that. So fully charged, totally on, we're good. Then you have to turn on the handheld unit, and it says on, off. It's the two buttons, the lowest button opposite the antenna, right? So you're gonna turn it on, you're gonna hold it for about 3 seconds, and then it turns on. Same thing to turn it off, you're gonna hold it down for about 3 seconds, and then it turns off, okay? So we're gonna turn it on. So now we know this is on, and we know this unit's on because this unit's blinking green. If you start seeing it blink yellow, orange, or red, it simply means that the battery's dying on this unit. The unit here in my hand, the handheld unit, there is a little battery life that you can see down there. So this doesn't need to be plugged in as often as this one will. At first, when you go home, this will need to be plugged in every few days because it will go dead. And you do want to turn it off. So when it's not on your dog, make sure you come back up and you turn this off, okay? So they're both on. Changing the stim level is this dial right here. We actually use the EZ900s now. We changed from the other units because they're easier ergonomically in your hand. They fit in your hand better. They're easier to turn the stim up and turn it down. We have some dogs who work, this Dakota here could work anywhere from a 4 to a 30. It kind of depends if there's food involved. If she wants the food, you're going higher. Gabe is super sensitive. This young German Shepherd, Gabe, probably works anywhere from a 2 to a 7. And then he's like, oh darn it, sorry. I don't feel it on me until it hits about an 11. Jagger here, he's a little sketchy sometimes. He could work at a 2 or he could work at a 20. He just needs some motivation. He's a bully, people. They need motivation, huh? Okay, and he likes food, so good motivation for him. Okay, so the unit here, we have them all set. Nope, Gabe, or Jagger, place. Jagger, place. Nope. So that was an 8, and I just double tapped for Jagger to get back on place and kind of guided him there. So this is a good exercise, part of their training. This is what your dogs, you should expect from your dogs at home when you're working your dogs. Okay, so turning it up and down, this knob here turns it up and down. It turns the stim level up and down. That comes out here, right? The front buttons, so I'm gonna tell you, this is tone, makes a tone. This is vibrate. I don't know if you can hear that. It vibrates. And then these two buttons are the ones you're gonna care about right now. The red button is the one for everybody except Jagger here. So the red button is constant. My finger is touching the button. You can see the red light. It means stim is coming out, okay? When the button on top is considered momentary, it's like 1/1000th of a second. You can see the red light, it'll flash. Doesn't matter how long I keep my finger on it, that's as fast as it goes. For most of these dogs that I have here right now, it's actually too quick. Their brain doesn't register when we want to keep it at a low number, so you have to go too high. I would rather keep it at a low number, super low, and hold my finger on it for a little bit longer. So that's why I teach you to use the continuous button. So as you're tapping or holding, the stim is coming out. And you can turn the unit up while you're tapping the buttons on it. For Jaggers here, for his and Dylan's, you can only tap one of their controllers at a time. So if you're going from Jagger to Dylan to Jagger to Dylan, you just have to hit them. You can't hit them both at the same time. If you haven't, that's a 902. This is a 900. This is for one dog. Jagger's is for 2 dogs. Okay, so that is kind of the unit and how it works and what the buttons are for. I'm gonna basically, for all these dogs for their go home, we're gonna use the continuous button, and I'm gonna work with you on how to do that. So I hope this helped. This is kind of the first part of our lesson. Usually this takes a little bit of time to go over, but if you guys could watch this video, go over it, send us any questions that you have. We are answering emails all the time, or the phone. Go ahead and give DJ a call. I think you guys all have your lessons pretty within the next couple of days where you're gonna get your dogs, and I hope this helps. Take care, I'll see you in the next lesson.